श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। श्रीशैलाभिजनाम्बुराशिशनं श्रीकृष्णतातात्मजं श्रीशैलान्वयदेवनाथसुधयः प्राप्तागमान्तद्वयं पादाब्जे नृसिंहताते गुरोर्न्यस्तात्मरक्षाभरं विद्वद्वन्द्वचकोरचन्दिरमहं रामानुजार्यं श्रये। श्रीरङ्गसुधामधुसमास्वादयन्तं श्रीरङ्गमहिषीपदपङ्कजात्मजं सुलभाश्रयं सदा मोदसिद्धमद्भुतं भजेऽहं गुरुं तं रङ्गनाथप्रियं सुखासनस्थं हृदयाब्जपीठे चिन्मुद्रयालङ्कृतपाणिपद्मं शुभोपवीतं विमलोत्थपुण्ड्रं नमामि रङ्गं गुरुम् अन्तरङ्गे। नमामि योगसम्राज्ञीं विजयां विजयप्रदां श्रीरङ्गार्धासनासीनां करुणामम मातरं। गुरुरूपपरञ्ज्योतिः ज्योतिरूपगुरुः परः अज्ञानमन्दिरं ह्येतते गुरुविज्ञानमन्दिरं। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः सकृदेव प्रपन्नाय तवास्मीति च याचते अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यः ददाम्येतद्व्रतं मम। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना. Salutations to our Guru and the Guru of all Gurus will commence our session today. In the previous session, we completed Ekona Trimsha Sarga, 29th Sarga, which is called as Shubha Nimittani. And that is a very brief chapter which talks about the important twitchings that Sita Mata has in her body, which are in some sense indicators, leading indicators of the auspiciousness that is going to come a little while ahead. And at the end of the chapter we have seen Sa Vita Shoka Vyapanita Tandri Shantajvara Harsha Vivurdha Sattva Ashobhatarya Vadanena Shukle Shitamshuna Ratri Rivoditena. Sita Mata gets relieved towards the end as she herself is acknowledging that there is something positive which is going to happen very soon. And that is where we ended in the last class. We will now continue with the Trimshaha Sargaha Anumat Kritya Kritya Vichintanam. In this chapter, we will see it is the right time for Hanuman to essentially show himself up. And he is, before he even thinks of speaking with Sita Mata, in this chapter, we are going to see what is going on in Hanuman's mind and how he prepares himself to confront Sita Mata. Hanumanapi Vishrantah Sarvam Sushtrava Tattvataha Sitayastrijatayascha Rakshasinam Chatarchanam Avekshamanastam Devim Devatam Ivanandane Tato Bahuvidham Chintam Chintayamasa Vanaraha. What we'll do is we'll try to accelerate our journey from here onwards. We will do it multiple slokas at a time because most of you are by now familiar with the key events, words, etc. Okay, we'll try to chug along a little bit quicker. So Hanuman is right now, there's a two patams here. Hanumanapi Vikrantaha is one, Vishrantaha is another one, right? Both are meet and proper. Vikranta means he's a valiant hero. Vishrantah is he is kind of tired listening to everything that's happening, seeing everything that's happening, and he has listened to everything in tattvataha, in totality and reality. He has seen what the Rakshasis were essentially threatening Sita Mata. And Aveksha Manastam Devim Devatamiva Nandane. To him, Sita Mata appeared to be none other than like a goddess or Devata in a Nandanavanam. And that is ground enough for him to start thinking about many different things. Chintam, Bahuvidham Chintam, Chintayamasa Vanaraha. He could have decided simply to show up and speak to her. But being somebody who knows everything, he's a jnani, right? He has to think before he leaps. Yam kapinam sahasrani subahonyayutani cha dikshu sarvasu margante seyam asaritamaya charena tu suyuktena shatro shaktim avekshata gudhena charata tavat avekshitamidam maya. So this is none other than Sita Mata, who is being searched by hundreds or thousands of Vanaras back in India, back in Bharatavarsham. We have all been searching for her. At last, this is that Sita Mata who we were looking in all directions. Diksu Sarvasu Margante. And Seyam, this is that very Sita who we were searching for. And I have also tried to now Shatroho Shaktim Avekshata. Completely understood the Shakti of the enemy here, who is Ravana. And Gudhena Charata Tavat Avekshitam Idam Maya. I have been secretly roaming around in Lanka and I have seen everything here. That is what Hanuman is thinking right now. Rakshasanam Visheshascha Puri Cheyamaveksita Rakshasadipaterasya Prabhavo Ravanasya cha Yuktam Tasya Prameyasya Sarvasattvadayavataha Samashvasaitum Bharyam Patidarshana Kankshini. Hanuman says that I have seen the ability of all the demons here, right? Rakshasanam, Rakshasadhipatescha Prabhavaha Ravanasya. I have seen everybody's Prabhavam, as well as this Lankapuri, which is the citadel. Therefore, I am in complete knowledge of the not only the geography of this place, but also who are the people who are supporting Ravana, how are the Rakshasas, what is their balam. All of that I have seen now, right? That's what Hanuman is saying in the first slokam. In the second one, he says that this is in fact the right time for me to comfort Sita, who is perhaps eagerly waiting for some kind of news or message from the other side of the shores, right? This is the opportune time for me, yuktam, tasya aprameyasya sarvasattva dayavataha. So Lord Rama is somebody who is compassionate to everybody, and he is an aprameya. His prowess is immeasurable. And Sita Mata is Pati Darshana Kankshini. She is awaiting to see her husband. Therefore, let me go and comfort her. Samashwasaitum Bharyam. This is the right time for me to interject into this whole episode right now. Aham ashwasayam yenam purnachandranibhananam adrishta dukkham dukkhartam dukkhasyantam agacchatim yadihyaham imam devim shokopahata chetanam anashwasya gamishyami doshavad gamanam bhavete. Sita Mata is Purna Chandra Nibhanana. Her face is like a full moon. And I am going to provide ashwasanam or comfort to her. And Sita Mata is somebody who is dukkharta. She is completely drowned in sorrow. And dukkasya antam agacchati. She seems to be in an endless spiral of sorrow. She is never seemed to coming out of that particular state of desperation. If I do not comfort her right now, yadihi aham imam devim shokopahata chetanam, her mind is fully engrossed in sorrow. And if I do not comfort at this very moment and return to Bharatavarsham with anashwasanam, having not comforted her, that in fact will be a dosham, doshavat gamanam bhaved. This is a dharma sukshmam here, that if you see somebody in dukkham and you have been witness to the fact that it is not something which is just an action, isn't it? It is something real, tattvataha, and you choose to remain quiet, that is not dharmam. You will attain some kind of dosham unless you provide some kind of comfort. It can be in any form, right? Thoughts, words, deeds, etc. But one has to provide some kind of a comfort. That is the takeaway from this slokam. Gate hi mai tatreyam rajaputri yasaswini paritranam avindanti janaki jivitam tyajete. Maya cha samahabahuः पूर्णचन्द्रनिभाननः समाश्वासयितुं न्याय्यः सीतादर्शनलालसः गतिः मये tatrayam rajaputri yashaswini. If I return without talking, without meeting, providing any kind of assurances to Sita Mata, if I return to Bharata, then not only it's a dosham on my part, but she herself will give her life up. Okay. Janaki Jivitam Tyajet, finding that there is nobody, Paritranam Avindanti, there is nobody here who is going to support her in any way. She has herself given a pratigna there, isn't it? That enough is enough. I am going to leave this body. So therefore, I should be careful and watchful about that. Not only that, on my return journey, Ramachandra, he is a Purnachandra Nibhanana himself. And he is also eagerly waiting to hear something from this side of the shores, that is from Sri Lanka. And it will not look nice if I return and do not comfort Lord Ramachandra himself, saying that, don't worry, Sita Mata is safe. Okay. So I had to ensure communication both ways, and that is my duty right now. Nishacharinam pratyaksham anarham chapi bhashanam katham nukalu kartavyam idam kritshragato hyaham anena ratrisheshena yadi nashwasyate maya sarvatha nasti sandeha parityakshati jivitam. However, how am I supposed to go and talk to Sita Mata? There are a lot of nishacharas here, night roamers, who are completely taking care that nobody else enters that particular place. How am I supposed to get rid of these Rakshasis and talk to Sita Mata? I am in a very unique predicament. Kritsragato hi aham. And I am supposed to do this in the Ratri Sesham, whatever is left of the Ratri, and provide comfort to Sita Mata. Sama na ashwasyate maya. If I am not able to do it in the remainder of the Ratri Sesham, there is no sandeham that Sita will leave her life. Okay. Ramascha yadi prichenmam kim mam Sita bravidvachaha kimaham tam pratibhruyam asambhashya sumadhyamam Sita sandesharahitam मामितस्त्वरया गतं निर्दहेदपि काकुत्स्थः क्रुद्धस्तीव्रेण चक्षुषा. So just like Sita Mata thinks of many scenarios, Lord Hanuman is right now thinking of many different things, right? If I were to return without comforting Sita Mata, what all will happen? Rama will inquire. Rama, if he inquires, Prichen Mam, what did Sita tell you? Sita, Kim Abravit Vachaha? What am I supposed to reply in return? Kim aham tat pratibhruyat. Asambhashya sumatyamam. If I were not to talk to Sita and comfort her and return, what face will I show to Lord Ramachandra? Right? To say, he has provided me business class travel to come over here. I have not met any of the clients. No order is won. And I have to go and report to my manager. What will happen? Right? That is the exact state Hanuman will be in. That's what he's thinking. Sita Sandesha Rahitam. And if I were to return in Tvaraya, right? If I were to leave quickly right away, it is also possible that Lord Ramachandra is somebody who can take on anger, isn't it? Kruddhaha tivrena chakshusha eva nirdahet. அவர் என்ன கண்ணால பார்த்தாலே சுட்டெறிஞ்சிடுவார். ஓகே, நக்கீரனுடைய மென்டர், isn't it? Just by looking at me, he will turn me into ashes. That is the other kind of bhayam that Hanuman suddenly has in himself. It is very interesting to note this, okay? Which means that it is not an ordinary mission. Rama has a lot of hope on Hanuman, and of course he is a parakramaha. Out of all the Vanaras, he has sent Hanuman there, isn't it? At the same time, Rama is also somebody who is himself in great despair. And at that point of time, if there is nothing happening positively, no doubt that person will become extremely angry. And that is what Hanuman is thinking here. Yadi chodyojaishyami bhartaram ramakaranat vyarthamaagamanam tasya sasainyasya bhavishyati antaram tohamasadya rakshasinamiha sthitaha shanairasvashayishyami santapa bahulam imam. So if I get somehow the Lord of Vanaras, which is Sugriva, isn't it? Yadi chod udyojayishyami. Yadi cha udyojayishyami. If I somehow motivate all the Vanaras, Sugriva and his entire army for the cause of Lord Rama, Rama Karanath, and they all arrive here, right, to fight with Ravana, will that be something which is useful, is what Hanuman is asking. Which basically means, if I do not comfort her, okay, there are two options here. He has seen everything wrong happening, and he starts to take the next available emergency flight, okay, and he returns back to Bharatavarsha. Okay, that's what most of us will do, isn't it? There is a difference between a news reporter and a messenger, isn't it? The news reporter, his main characteristic attribute, Atma Gunam, abdina enna chapalam. So their main idea is to create some kind of wave around any news. Okay, in the news, okay, I have now seen Sita Mata suffering. She is in a bad state, terrible state. Okay, let me go back to Bharata and communicate with Sugriva and others. Let us go and fight Ravana. That is option one. Option two, I comfort Sita Mata and then go back, return. These are the two scenarios. He's thinking, if I were to adopt the first scenario, it will be a vyartham agamanam with all the senas, because by that time, Sita Mata would have taken her life. Okay, this is a very important distinction between a reporter and a messenger. Okay. And also, he is very importantly saying here, I'm not going to suddenly speak to her. I'm going to wait. I'm going to speak to her. Shanaihi ashvasayishami. Very slowly, I would like to speak to her and console her because she is currently deeply depressed. And when I get a chance to speak, which means antaram aham asadya rakshasina mihastitaha. I will not only speak to her slowly, but I will also look at the right opportunity where the Rakshasis have perhaps fallen asleep. Okay, I'll give them 2 or 3 sleeping pills more. And when they start snoring, I'll find the right time and then go to Sita Mata. Both of these is what Hanuman is thinking here. Aham tvatitanuschaiva vanarascha visheshatah vacham choda harishyami manushimiha samskritam. यदि वाचं प्रदास्यामि द्विजातिरिव संस्कृतां रावणं मन्यमाना मां सीता भीता भविष्यति. All right, I have decided that I am going to talk to her and comfort her. I am not going to return without that. It's going to be useless. At the same time, I am going to find the right time and I'll talk to her slowly. But what language should I use to talk to her? Is it Java, Python, or C++, right? So he's mentally thinking of all possible options. He reminds himself that he belongs to the monkey jati, isn't it? Kapihi. And perhaps they have a different Adbhasha. They have a language which is different from Manushim, that which human beings normally speak. So he is now in 2 minds, bless you, as to which language should I use to speak to her. And he decides, I am going to definitely use Sanskritam. Okay, that is going to be the medium of instruction because Sita Mata is a PhD in Sanskrit. She will definitely understand Sanskritam, and perhaps all the menfolk back then were all speaking Sanskrit. That's why the adjective for Sanskritam itself is Manushim. All menfolk, womenfolk, everybody were speaking Sanskrit in those days. At the same time, if I speak in Dvija Atiriva Sanskritam, if I speak in a language which doesn't sound to be the Sanskrit version spoken by human beings, but that version of Sanskrit which is spoken by Kapis, Vanaras also, then Sita Mata will become afraid. Ravanam Manyamana Mam. She will think that I am Ravana in some other form. Isn't it? He is a Mayavi. Therefore, what I should do is Vanarasya Visheshena Katam Syat Abhibhashanam. She will definitely get frightened. And I am supposed to be very, very careful in terms of speaking with her. Okay, these are all the things that one should note before communicating the right thing with the right person. Seyamaloke me rupam janaki bhashitam tatha rakshobhistrasita purvam bhuyastrasam gamishyati. Not only that, she will also look at my form, not just if I speak in some other language, but if she looks at my form, she will perhaps get even more terrified as she is already threatened by Rakshasihi. And Bhuyaha Trasam Gamishyati. She will be in a state of extreme fear. If I were to speak in some other language, at the same time, I also appear in the form that I am currently in. So we should remember that he is also in the Vanara form, perhaps in a huge frame. Somehow he has hidden himself behind the leaves at that point of time. Tato jata paritrasa shabdam kuryan manaswini janana mam vishalakshi ravanam kamarupinam sitaya chakrite shabde sahasa rakshasi ganaha. Nana praharano ghoraha sameyadantakopamaha. By seeing me in this very form that I am in, Sita Mata is somebody who is Vishalakshi, Manaswini. Okay, so she is a very sensitive person, and she can she will perhaps start get frightened. Jata Paritrasa, and she will start making Shabdam of various forms, meaning she will perhaps start screaming and think that it is Ravana here in the form of a monkey now. Ravana is somebody who is a Kamarupa person. He can take any form at his will. Therefore, that is another aspect here. It's not only what I'm going to speak, but my own form may frighten her. And Sitayacha Krite Shabde, the moment she starts screaming, what will happen? All the Rakshasis who are sitting there, they have been paid a lot of money with bonus, variable pay, and so on. They will also notice this and they will start to do their duty. Nana Praharana, they already hold lot of weapons. And Antakopamaha, they are comparable to the Lord of Death. Antakaha is Lord Yama. And these Rakshasis resemble the Lord of Death himself. And they would all gather around. Right? Basically, I'll create an unnecessarily terrifying scene if I jump with this form of mine and start speaking in a different language. Tato mam samparikshipya sarvato vikritananaha vadhe cha grahane chaiva kuryuryatnam yatha balam grihya shakha prashakhascha skandhamschottam shakhinam drishtva viparidhavantam bhaveyur shankitaha. What will happen the moment the Rakshasis, um, are awakened by the screams of Sita Mata? They will all swarm around me. They are all Vikritananaha. They are very, they are somebody who have hideous faces. And they will simply samparikshipya vadhecha grahane chaiva yathabalam yatnam kuryuho. They will try to somehow capture me. They will use all their weapons and their own Shakti, and they will try to somehow capture me. Not only that, Uttama Shakhinam Shakaha Prashakhascha Skandhascha Grihya. So they will, seeing me holding very big and small branches of the large trees, they will see me leaping from one place to the other, Viparidhavantam. They will also perhaps get scared, is what Hanuman is thinking. Basically, it will create a scene of commotion. Mama rupam cha samprekshya vane vicharato mahate rakshasyo bhaya vitrasta bhaveyur vikritananaha tatah kuryos samahvanam rakshasyo rakshasamapi rakshasendra niyuktanam rakshasendra niveshane. These vikritananaha rakshasyaha vane vicharataha mama mahatrupam samprekshya bhaya vitrastaha bhaveyuhu. Right? And tataha rakshasyaha, what else will they do? They will of course get terrified by looking at my form. They will now call all their husbands who are the Rakshasas, who are all living in the palace of Ravana, and they will also come down, isn't it? The moment you are not enough in terms of your prowess to address an enemy, which is Hanuman, who has come just now, you try to seek help from other Rakshasas. That's what Hanuman is imagining, okay? That this is what will happen. Te shula shakti nistrimsha vividhayudha panayaha apateyur vimardesminne vegenodvega karanate samruddhaistaistu parito vidaman rakshasam balam shaknuyam natu sampraptum paramparam mahodadhe. all these scenarios are being imagined by Hanuman, isn't it? So he has to take a very proper action at this point of time. So the moment the Rakshasas call all their husbands, they will also come with their Shula Shakti Nistrimsha Vividhayuda Paneha. They have many different types of weapons such as spears, tridents, swords, and so on and so forth. And they perhaps Udvega Karanat, they may be in fear or some kind of anxiety, and they will also come and join the combat along with the Rakshasas. Okay. At the same time, Taihi Paritaha Samriddha Rakshasam Balam Vidhaman. So with all these people around me, what may happen is Mahodadehe Paramparam Sampraptum Nasaknyam. I may not be able to cross over back into Bharatavarsham because my energy would have been drained uh, because I would have fought with all these Rakshasas and their Rakshasa husbands. मां वा गृहीयुरालु आप्लुत्य बहवः शीघ्रकारिणः स्यादियं च गृहीतार्था मम च ग्रहणं भवेत् हिंसाभिरुचयो हिंस्युः इमां वा जनकात्मजां विपन्नं स्यात् ततः कार्यं रामसुग्रीवयोरिदम्. They are all in very large numbers and they are very prompt to act because they are nishacharas. They don't care whether it is night or day, and their Shakti is more during the night time. And somehow they will catch hold of me. And once that happens, this is something which is before Hanuman speaks with Sita, isn't it? Imagine the scene there. Sita Mata is terrified. She starts to scream. So there is no connection between Hanuman and Sita. And the Rakshasas and Rakshasas come and fight with Hanuman. And therefore, I will still not receive any message that I can take back from Sita Mata to Lord Ramachandra. I would have once again failed in my mission here. These Rakshasas are all himsabhiruchayaha. They all like to indulge in violence. Either they will kill me, okay, or they will harm Sita Mata. And therefore, the mission of Rama and Sugriva, Rama Sugriva Yoridam Karyam, Vipannam, it will also fail. This is what Hanuman is thinking. Uddeshe nashtamargesmin rakshasai parivarite sagarena parikshipte gupte vasati janaki vishaste va grihite va dakshobhirmai samyuge nanyam pashyami ramasya sahayyam karya sadhane. Having been destroyed, this mission being destroyed in this manner by the Rakshasas and Rakshasas, Sita Mata will once again get into a state where she will take her life. Therefore, the mission will further get into a deep state of inaction. And if in a case where Vishasteva Grihiteva Rakshobhirmai Samyuge, in this combat, even if I am captured or killed by these demons, I do not see any other person. Na anyam pashyami ramasya sahayam karya sadhane. I am the only person right now who can help Lord Rama in this mission. Okay. So he now reflects back on himself saying, I am the most important person here, very crucial connection, having seen everything. If I get killed here, that is also a useless thing to happen. Vimasham pashyami yohate mayi vanaraha shatayojana vistirnam langhayeta mahodadhim kamam hantum samarthosmi sahasranyapi rakshasam natu shakyami sampraptum paramparam mahodadhehe. So when I am killed here, I cannot see any other Vanara who can leap over thousands, Shatayojana Vistirnam, this Bay of Bengal, and they will not come here and reach this place. Forget about accomplishing anything beyond us. At the same time, he reminds himself of his Shakti. right? Why am I worried about these Rakshasis? These are all, in the latest terminology, jujubes, okay, as they say. I can kill thousands of these demons. And therefore, after that, perhaps I may reach the other side of the ocean. Pranatyagascha vaidehya bhave anabhibhashane yesha dosho mahan hi syate mama sita abhibhashane bhutascharta vinashyanti desha kala virodhitaha viklavam dutamasadya tamas suryodayetha. There is some dharma shastram that is also provided here. Anabhibhashine, if I were not to speak with Sita Mata and somehow return after fighting all these demons, right? That is not meet and proper. Pranatyagascha bhavet. Sita Mata will definitely take her life away, right? And Sita Abhibhashane mama esha mahan dosha syat. Therefore, it is very important that I may fight these demons after she screams and then somehow retain some energy and return. But it is very important that I speak up with her. Viklabam dutam asadya, by appointing a confused person as a messenger. Bhutaha artaha deshakala viroditaha. It is possible that even well-planned diplomatic missions, they fail. Like the Upamanam that is given is darkness dispelled at sunrise. This is what may happen if the messenger is confused. Okay. And the place and time are not proper for them. Viklam dutam asadya tamas suryodaye eta deshakala viroditaha. That is, there is a important messenger here, and I need to adopt all kinds of diplomacy to conduct my task. But if I am confused for some reason and I am unable to discharge my duties, then that is something which will result in anartham. Therefore, let me be very, very careful here. Arthanantarate. Arthanarthantare buddhi nischitapi na shobhate ghatayanti karyani dutaha panditamaninaha. Arthanantare buddhi nischitapi na shobhate. So when your mind is swaying from one place to the other, even having a nischita buddhi is not going to help. This is a very important thing that Hanuman is mentioning. Your buddhi may be clear. You know that this is what you should do. But if you keep continuously thinking of whether I should do this or that, then the messenger's mission will be a big failure. Ghateyanti karyani dutaha pandita maninaha. If the messengers think that they are extreme scholars because their buddhi is proper, but their mind is not clear, then this mission will once again be a failure. I think will some very important messages here from Hanuman in terms of what all one should think. You should generate scenarios and prepare yourself for all kinds of things that may happen, but be in a right frame of mind before contacting the important person, in this case, which is Sita Mata. Okay. So with these words, we'll conclude our session here today. I wish you all a very happy new year ahead. So we'll meet next year, okay, in the new year 2024. Thank you.
Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhakta Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhakta Samsara भव मुक्तः गुरुचरणाम्बुज कृष्णा कृष्णा सेन्द्रियमानस नियमादेवं रक्षसि निज हृदयस्थं देवं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते
कायेन वाचा मनसा इन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्या आत्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं श्रीरामचन्द्रार्पणमस्तु. Have a great day and a great year ahead. Thank you.
Wish you a happy new year.